We'll start with the basics. How are you guys feeling heading into the postseason play?
I'll start. I would say we feel pretty good. I think we're starting to figure out our roles on the team really well, and we're starting to gain a lot of confidence. And I think we're a whole new team than we were at the beginning of the year, and I think that's the exciting part. I think we're thriving in the environments of pressure against good teams thanks to the Big Ten. So I think this Thursday will be a really good start for us, just hoping to exploit one game at a time.
I'm really excited too. I mean, just being able to play at home again is super fun, and I think we've just gotten so much better these past couple of weeks. And speaking for myself and the other freshmen, I just feel like we are so much more comfortable playing on the floor and just gelling with everybody, and it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think we're just really excited. I mean, this is what we've been training for this whole season, and we've slowly gotten better and better and gotten more comfortable playing together. So I think it's exciting to see what we can do postseason.
So what was the turning point that you guys had in your season in order to kind of get to where we are right now? Because I know at first it was a little bit of a rocky road, and then all of a sudden you guys kind of hit your stride right at the right time.
Honestly, looking back, I'm not sure what the difference was, but I think this team doesn't like to lose. And although in the Big Ten you're probably going to have a couple of losses, I just think we knew we had so much more potential in us, and we see how we train every day, and that comes from the coaching staff trusting us and us trusting each other, and I think it just is finally starting to develop.
Now, with having such a young teams like so far, how are you guys who have had at least one postseason already or multiple kind of helping the younger girls get ready for this year? Because obviously anything can happen now that you have to win or go home.
I think at this point it's just managing that pressure. I mean, we have a lot of freshmen and younger classmen in big spots and big roles that we need them to perform, and just to help them manage pressure. And like, we've been through it before, so to be able to help them and give them advice is really a big thing going forward.
I think one thing that we focused this year as a team is not hitting that rut in the middle of the year. I think there comes a point, especially around Thanksgiving, when you're not able to be with your families, and early November, it's just something we were trying to avoid. And I think that's what sparked our team a little bit, is we got over that hump that we've hit in years past. So, and that not only comes from us three, but that comes from the freshmen down too. So I think that's also helped us going into the postseason.
This is a question for Chloe. How has your first entire year been, and like, you know, being able to get to the postseason like you guys worked so hard for this entire year?
It's been a lot of fun. There's been a lot of ups and downs. Kimmy will tell you, after we lost to Illinois, like, I just get so upset after we lose. I was like, are we going to even make the tournament? And I was like, yeah, we still can. It's going to be okay. But I don't know, just kind of going off of after we lost at Wisconsin, from there on out, Michael made a big point. He was like, that's going to be our last loss of the season. You guys are right there. You can really excel right here and go as far as you can. So I think just knowing that the coaches have that confidence in us is huge.
And how have you grown as a player individually just from the start of the year to now the end of the year?
I think I've grown a lot. I was so nervous that first weekend, and just I didn't want to mess up in front of all the fans or for my team, and I just really wanted to perform. But now I just know that they always have my back. Not that they didn't at the beginning, because I knew they did, but I just have so much more confidence, and I just know that we can beat any team that steps on the floor.
So I wasn't there personally, but I saw the pictures. You guys just looked ecstatic last night. Was that smiling for the cameras, or were you guys actually just, was it that much of a relief to get that seeding?
I think it was pretty cool that we got a 3 seed. I think that's something we worked for, is to host the first round, and it was true excitement. It was really nerve-wracking. We thought we were going to get it a couple times before, so all of us were kind of nervous, or like, what's going on? But just seeing the draw that we had, I think we couldn't be in a better spot, and just focusing one game at a time. But I think it's pretty cool that it could be a Big Ten matchup again, and I think that's what we've trained for. And I just think the whole thing is a exciting deal, no matter how high, how low you are in the tournament. I think it's really cool.
Yeah, no, I'll stay with you, Maddie. You've been a part of a few tournament teams in your time here. So how does that preparation usually go for you guys the week before, and will it be different this time with so many familiar faces in your bracket?
Yeah, every year's been different for sure. I think one thing that I've started to learn is you have to take it a game at a time, because if you look ahead, that obviously hasn't helped us in the past. And I think Fairfield's a really good squad that we're going to have to be ready for, but also just remembering the quick turnarounds. Luckily, if plays out, we've played a couple of the teams before, so scouting-wise that helps. But I just think right now this week we're going to be mainly focusing on how we can get better rather than how can we scout Fairfield. I just think right now our own work ethic and our own individual work that we put in this week will show off. So I hope that that's the case.
And then Eva, lately it just seems like you've been playing your best volleyball maybe of your career. What has that stretch been like for you, and do you feel like is it almost kind of the postseason is bringing it out of you?
I don't know how it came about. I'm not even going to lie to you, but I know that, especially with this team, that it's so fun to play with a lot of young people and, of course, Maddie Schermerhorn. But we just want to win, and we want to keep playing. And, like, as opposed to last year where half of us kind of did, half of us were kind of out of it. But this year we're all in, and I think that just helps me play with being comfortable and just confidence, and I know they have my back no matter what. So I know I can go and swing away, which is really exciting. And it's exciting to play well and before postseason. It gives you a lot of confidence.
And then, Maddie, again, like just a long time here, and both of you and Eva have touched on kind of past teams and past seasons. What sets this team apart, maybe, or what have you seen that's different?
Just the drive and the motivation. I think Dave has said it before. He or Kat or whoever does, they don't need to motivate us. I think we motivate each other, and we all have our eyes on the one prize that we know we can get to. And I think years past, it's been similar to that, but years past it hasn't. But as a fifth year, you see something different in this team. And I think our talent is starting to spark, and I just really hope that every dream that we have is able to be acknowledged in this postseason. So, yeah.
And then Chloe, you talked about your kind of evolution this season and how you're more comfortable fitting in better. I asked Dave after the Wisconsin match, you had something like, I don't know, a lot of digs. And he said that your defense is coming along a lot, and that's a role that you can step into more. So I just wanted to ask, has that been something that you've been more cognizant of, and maybe just see yourself a little differently now than you did coming in?
I think playing at Purdue, I knew that defense was going to be a huge thing if I wanted to get on the floor. I mean, we always talk about that every practice. I mean, you can watch Maddie and Eva, like they just go after balls all the time. So I think being around them helped, and I thought that I could play better defense at the beginning of the season. I don't think I was playing as well as I could, and I just think I was too worried about whose ball is what. And I think the Wisconsin match, I wasn't hitting as well as I normally did, and I think it just made me really want to do something for my team. So I was like, okay, I really need to pick up my defense then. If I'm not hitting as well this game, I need to do something else for my team. So I think after that Wisconsin match, it also gave me like the confidence and just knowing that I can defend like that. So let's do that all the time now, even when I am hitting well, and see how it goes.
Kind of going off that, Maddie, since Eva has anointed you as the not young person of the team, you've been around long enough to know that defense is a difference maker in the NCAA tournament. How much of these two, being 6 rotation players, helped in that aspect when, I've seen them diving on the floor to get balls, which is not normally something you see out of an outside hitter?
I treat them as a libero too. I think I've seen them make plays in practice that I'm not sure any NCAA libero would be able to make. Honestly, that's just how incredible they've gotten over the past 6 months, and my expectations for them in the backcourt are really high, and they should be, but that just shows the potential that I see in them. So having not only them back there for defense, but as another option as a hitter, I think it's nice being able to know I have those two behind my back. I think they've just been incredible.
And Eva, just how much have you really taken on that role of understanding? Last year, I think you were set, seemed like 90% of the time. But, now with Chloe, that takes some pressure off, and you really elevated your back row play, just passing the ball.
Yeah, coming into Purdue, Dave told me that one of my weaknesses was passing and defense. So I've been getting in a lot of extra time and just working on my back row. But I can especially work on it now because I have Chloe and Raven playing so well, and having that pressure off of me so I can focus on other aspects of my game has really elevated all of our plays, I believe.
For Chloe and Eva, when you're in the back row, other teams are looking at you when they're serving and saying, we can take one of those hitters out if we serve at them. So to have both of you, how much does that help where okay, you can't take us both out with a serve?
We were talking about this on the bus the other day. If one of us is passing well, it goes out. They go after the other, and then if that person's passing well, then they go after the other. But it's just awesome to have each other's backs. I mean, we know we're both in the same position, and we can just go to each other and like, hey, I'm not playing well, but you need to step up in this place, and I'll step up in this place. And it's just really good to have that person to lean on. And we also lean on Skimmy, who takes most of those serve-receive balls, which is really nice as a hitter as well.
Yeah, I'd say our backcourt attack, too, is just awesome. It's like other teams, like club team in high school, we try to run the back row attack, but it just has not been as effective. And here we're trying to run it fast, and I think that can really help us in the postseason. And having somebody who digs the ball like Skimmy and just such a great team in middles who pull the block, and then having Eva literally everywhere. She hits 9s, bigs, 4s, every set. Like, teams, we're just not super predictable, which is going to be hard in the tournament.
You haven't seen Fairfield this year, but you have seen Marquette. So, Eva, what's different about Purdue from September 1st to where they are right now at the end of November?
I would say almost everything. I mean, we had no roles at that point. We had so many different pieces moving and trying to figure out whose role is what, and we have a lot of gritty players. So it was kind of hard to find those roles because we have so much talent, and it's hard when everybody wants to be on the floor. You get a little nippy, but it's okay, and we figured it out, and I think we're playing so much better, and we're clicking as a team, and it's exciting to see what will come. And I know Marquette is probably different too, so it's just a whole new game, and postseason you never know. I mean, it's anyone's game.
Chloe, Purdue has hosted a lot of tournament games and matches over the years. Have you been to an NCAA tournament match in person?
I'm sure I have when I was younger, but I think the one that I remember, you were on the team. It was the year you went to Pitt. You guys played Dayton at home, right? It was that one. You went 5 sets, right? I wasn't there because I had a tournament or something, but I remember watching it, the live stats on my phone, and freaking out because I got so nervous because they were so good that year, but they pulled it out. But I think just playing at home will be so huge for us, and I think any team who comes in knows that we're going to have a great crowd. And, I mean, we've seen it before against Kentucky. I think they won that match for us, like in that 5th set. It's just so awesome playing here.
And Maddie, you've been through this before, but there was always a next season. Now there's no next season. Does that change the way you feel coming into this?
I was actually thinking about that last night. Yeah, just for me, I think I stress really easily, and I have high expectations for my level of play and just my leadership for this team. But now it's just like we've done everything we can do to be in this position, and for me, it's like you got to just play your heart out at this point, not for yourself, but for the girls that you play with every day, and for the coaches that train you every day, and for your family, and for the support system of the Boiler Block and all the fans in Purdue. I think for me right now, it's just more than the wins and losses that may come in the post tournament. So I'm excited to see how that takes us, but I couldn't be more excited to see, I guess, what this group can do the next few weeks.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.